All right. Want to ask you a question. Hot topic for Trent with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Tush Push was on full display the last couple years, but then in the offseason, they are talking and they just discussed the opportunity to ban the Tush Push. Do you think that the NFL should have banned it, or do you think it's a bunch of malarkey and teams need to just figure it out?
I think it's one of those things where it's like, how would you say this? It's like when you have a disagreement with someone in your family. Mm-hmm. You don't just like everyone maybe in the room wants to say it, but no one does.
Yeah.
And of course, the one person that comes out and says something is the Packers, right? So how it works is like the NFLPA. They technically can't say who said what or how it got brought into play. But they can say that one team, only one single team, voted to try and ban it, right? And I'm sure, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's probably like 11 or 12 other teams that would say that. But they didn't because they probably didn't want to get in trouble, and they didn't want to be the team that's, seems like they're trying to, ban it, right? The funny thing is, though, is the Packers general manager, he says all these opinions about it, but he's like, he almost like comes from a place of like he didn't know that his own organization was the ones that proposed for it to be banned. So it's just like kind of weird. And anyways, he just basically came out and said, "Oh, well, this is how we feel about it." Let me see here. I'll pull up the actual Packers what he said. He said, "This is Brian Gutekunst." Yeah. Anyways. Get a new last name, buddy. Maybe focus on that. Confirmed Tuesday that the team had submitted a proposal to ban the play, which is a modified quarterback sneak where 2 or 3 teammates line up behind Hurts, push him forward, and help him try to gain the yardage necessary. This is quotations. We really haven't had very many discussions about it. Obviously you did because your team proposed for it to be banned. I'm sure we will, over the next few weeks, have discussions about it as we head into the owners' meetings. So I'm aware we did, but really hadn't had many discussions about it. Yeah, I mean, he talks like he's not a part of the organization that said they wanted to ban it. And I'm like, this is so confusing. Like,
so who would you have thought would have been the team? Because I had a team immediately when it was one team. You told me about this. I immediately thought it was going to be the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Is I figured it'd be the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
Micah Parsons hates it.
Yeah, somebody in your division, and I thought that's a Cowboy thing.
Yeah,
that's got to be a Cowboy. I was surprised. It's NFC, but
yeah, So Mark Murphy, the CEO of the Packers, came out and said it's bad for the game in a message posted to the team.
Yeah,
and then he says there's no skill involved. It's almost an automatic first down on plays of 1 yard or less. Yeah. I like to see the league prohibit pushing or aiding the run. Atlanta Falcons coach Raheem Morris said Tuesday he wouldn't mind seeing it go away. I've never been a fan, Morris said. Never understood why it was allowed. I definitely will be one of the guys voting against it.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Todd Bowles, he's in the NFL competition committee. He said he doesn't believe the tush push should be banned. Bowles said teams have learned how to stop it rather than having the league take it out of the game. Perfect. Sean McDermott of the Bills. Now, mind you, the Bills ran the tush push 3 times in the AFC Championship game. None of 3 actually converted.
So is that the problem? Do you think a lot people don't know how to do it right?
Yes.
And they're just jealous?
I think what's really upsets me about the whole thing is like the Packers, for example. They have tried to run the tush push.
Yeah.
And they're terrible at it.
Yeah.
And Jordan Love's so bad at it that later in the year they put a tight end in there to try and run the tush push.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you guys complain about? Because you guys, this is the thing. If it was every team in the league getting it to work, then I would understand. Okay, if every team in the league got a guaranteed first down off of it, then sure, why not? Ban it. Right. That makes sense to me. Yeah. Or the other thing is if people are getting injured,
right,
then that would make sense.
Yeah.
But actually, the NFLPA came out and said no one got injured in the last year in this play.
Yeah, so you can't make that argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've had players go out of the game for being down or injured,
Right.
but they never had any actual injury status come from the play.
That would be their point.
Yeah.
If they had that evidence, I think it would have been gone. I was wondering, what I thought they would stop doing is allowing you to push a player to help them go forward, the actual pushing. I was wondering if that's what they were going to go with this year, because otherwise it's a quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
So do you outlaw quarterback sneaks
Well, the funny thing
altogether? Because the only difference is now you're pushing.
well,
your
they're all
quarterback.
saying most of these coaches and teams are saying, well, it's a safety concern. Sean McDermott said it was a safety concern.
Oh.
He ran it 3 times in the game. If it was such a safety concern, he wouldn't have done it.
So, yeah, that's a good point. And then also you have, one of the actual more exciting parts of a game is a form of the tush push when a running back is just running the ball and then the offensive line comes from behind and pushes them forward and he keeps moving his feet and going forward. That's always one of the most exciting plays.
Yeah.
Just to see that, it's like a tug of war, except the opposite version. It's our will versus your will. And that's part of the gladiator football fun that you see. So they're either going to have to say, we're going to have to ban quarterback sneaks altogether, or they're going to have to say you can't push people, which means those other plays can't happen either, because they happen all the time.
They can't do that. They can't say you can't push people, because are they going to outlaw defensive players pushing each other?
Right.
Okay, that's not fair whatsoever.
Yeah.
So now you're saying that the defensive players can push each other to get a guy down.
Yeah.
But it's illegal for the offensive players to push a player? That's crazy.
I think it's somehow the Eagles have figured out how to do this massively well, and nobody else can figure out how to A, stop it, and A, duplicate it.
Yeah. Well, I think this...
Which isn't that a little remarkable that teams can't do it nearly as well?
I mean,
there's nobody doing it nearly as well.
here's the thing, though. The Eagles have had a top 5 O-line
Yeah.
for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Probably even longer than that. Okay? We have amazing linemen on our team.
Yeah.
Guys that deserve all pros but won't get it because of the fact that they play on the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to go ahead and say, well, we're going to ban this play that only one team's really stellar at.
Well, yeah, and a lot of it is because you have Jalen Hurts who can squat
600
pounds. You have a quarterback that can squat 600,
And a running back who squats
pushing
5.
him that can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Behind him.
Yeah.
So
what I don't understand is even Nick Sirianni's like, well, it kind of actually pisses me off because we work so hard at that play to be better at it.
Right.
And he's like, but then these other teams are like, well, we just want to ban it because we're not good at it, and only one team is.
I think the only way they're going to get that thing banned is if they start seeing injuries.
Yeah.
You don't see injuries, it's going to be hard to
listen.
You're now just not liking it
Because the injuries thing has been such a big deal on this. Are we going to see injuries get faked because of it? Are we going to see
from other teams? Yeah, you'll see the Packers. They're going to be flop.
I hope that they come into it, because this is the thing for me. I truly believe, in my own personal opinion, this is the most football play you could possibly have. Yeah. And for people who don't understand that, as someone who was an offensive lineman, there was nothing that was more fulfilling as an offensive lineman than to see your teammates manhandle another team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And when you manhandle another team, your running back's getting yardage.
Yes.
Every single time.
That's what, Kittle once said one of his favorite things about football is moving another man in the opposite direction that they want to go against his will.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
football.
It's
seriously,
that's football.
That's football right there. And the tush push is a play.
Yes.
Where you move people.
Yep.
It's mano-a-mano. And the cool thing is when you see them line up and they're nose to nose, you're like, these are grown men who are about to put everything in their will
and you know
against each
exactly
other.
what they're doing. And they do it anyway.
Yes. That's football.
You can do a couple things to stop it. You can not allow 3rd and shorts and 4th and shorts and stop them. Otherwise, now there was, who was it in the NFL that was jumping over the?
Oh, that's Commanders.
That was that was in the NFC Championship game. Yeah. How many times did he jump over?
Yeah.
Then they warned him. I don't even know if that's a real rule. They're like, warning, we are gonna just basically give a touchdown.
Which I think is hilarious. And honestly, I don't have any problem with him jumping off that many times.
Yeah.
Honestly, he could have kept on doing that, and I would have had no problem with it.
Is that actually a rule?
Oh, yes, it is. It's been in the rule book for a long time.
That you can
They
give
can award points,
award points. That is, I've never heard of that ever being called. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
And he's trying. I liked it.
Yeah,
he was going for it.
Like I said, if you're looking at I love the effort. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, we got to show that clip, Drew. You got to show the Commanders just jumping over the line over and over and over again.
I mean, I think
Fourth and goal.
Good for you,
Fourth
man.
and goal.
Good for
Fourth
you.
and goal.
If that's the route you want to take, do it.
Hey, thanks for watching the clip. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the subscribe button. It helps us get out our content, and you'll get everything new that comes out with us. Thanks again.